Cool. What's up, guys? All right, here's your explanation for the week one video assignment. Just want to go over some setup things first. First, left hand, like your hand, holding your hand out to shake someone's hand, stick it right into the fulcrum around the American flag or a little bit above, whatever's most comfortable for your hand. And then there should be a straight line from your shoulder all the way out to your thumb. Bottom fingers together and on the stick. Top two rested on top of the stick with your thumb placed in between your two knuckles on your pointer finger. Two fingers in between the rim of the drum or pad and the stick. Right hand, same thing with the fulcrum placement, wrapping the fingers around, and then same thing, two fingers, and you want that nice downward angle. It shouldn't be flat to the drum. There should be a little bit of a downward angle here so that we can turn up to every single height, okay? So that's your setup. Now for the paddle. For this exercise, you don't need to be holding the right stick at all. It's played as written there, except you're only holding the stick in the fulcrum. You don't have your other fingers on the stick. So this is meant to be a strengthening exercise. I'll play a little bit and then explain it. Cool. So from there, you can see I'm actually trying to stretch past 15 inches. You should be going for more like 18 to get this full range of motion. And because it's harder to hold the stick out here, it'll make your fulcrum a little bit stronger. For this, no arm, none of this. You want strictly wrist. We're trying to train our fulcrum, but also trying to train it so that our wrist is always what turns first and our arm isn't moving before our wrist while we're playing. Now for eights, we have back fingers, which is playing it while only holding the back fingers in the right hand, and in the left hand, only the paddle. So at that faster tempo that's on there, and it's okay if your height is a little bit more inflated to like 6 inches. It doesn't need to be a perfect 3, since that's kind of hard to get without the control of your other fingers. But that's what you have to do for that. And for wrist only, for your right hand, you're going to take your pointer finger and put it on top of the stick. That'll force you to isolate your wrist and you can't use your fingers at all. And then for your left hand, you're going to take these two fingers right here and put them underneath your thumb and grip on top of them. And that'll be how you isolate your wrists. So that's how you play the eights isolated exercise. And then height practice, this is where you're bringing all of the mechanics together. So arm, wrist, and fingers. Think about turning from the wrist and using arm at every single height, even 3 inches. 15 inches, nice and loud, really big sound. That's what we're going for. But even as you get down to these lower heights, I'm using less of my arm, but it's still there. My forearm is still kind of pumping into the drum to help get more of a heavy-handed approach, since that's what we sort of go for here at SHIP. Last thing, always stretch your left hand before you play. To do that, just set up in your usual setup, grab the tip of the bead, and bring it in a straight line, complete straight line up. Not that way, this way, yeah. Bring it in a complete straight line up without moving your arm up at all, just strictly from the wrist. And then to do the reverse stretch, grab the stick with your whole hand, flip it around, grab the top with your right hand, put the butt into the drum, stretch back, and then take both sticks, shake it out. That'll help loosen up your wrist a little bit. And then once you're feeling more comfortable with that, instead of doing the stretch with your hand like this, take your whole hand and place it around. And then do the same thing, going up in that straight angle. That'll be a little bit harder to get. You might only be able to get that to like 9, 12 inches for now. Don't go to a stretch that feels painful. It shouldn't be a sharp pain at all. It should just be a nice deep stretch in your hand, and that'll help us start getting up to 15 inches, mainly just from turning our wrist, not from bringing our arm all the way up. If you guys have any other questions, let me know.